Um, really pleased with the way our guys went out and competed today in this game. First thing I want to say is I really appreciate the fan support, especially from the student body population. I can't tell you how much energy and enthusiasm our guys had for that basketball game when they saw the student body population filled up like that. I think one thing, too, that obviously helped was having Raquez Johnson back. And I had a lot of meetings with Raquez during his suspension time, and I showed him some of the things that he was doing out in Maui and at the beginning of the season as far as, like, his hustle plays. And I said, don't worry about the scoring. Like I said, that's a secondary thing right there. But people are scouting you and taking away your drives and some opportunities like that. But what you are is a hustle guy. And so we do a thing called a hustle chart. And it charts like how many hustle plays a guy makes in each game. And it was a staggering difference between how he was in the first 6 to 7 games compared to what he'd been doing since he'd been in SEC. So you go out there and just make those hustle plays like you've been doing. Colin was huge for us, made some big threes, but more importantly, he got some driving opportunities and made some plays in the motion offense. And then for Chicken to get 9 assists is huge, but like he still had 7 turnovers. But I'm happy for our guys because you don't have I can handle like the negativity of like being 0-2 against Ole Miss and like breaking the all-time losing streak in Mississippi State history and things like that. But I don't know if our guys being that fragile can handle that. So I'm really happy for them because they don't have to go into the off season answering all those questions.
Going scoreless for about 6 minutes, and y'all have had those kind of droughts, but you seem to catch a second win. That seems to be obviously something a little different from the past.
Yeah, and I don't want to harp back on this again, but like just having Raquez out there like helps that because now you got some opportunities to sub and try to find a guy who can get hot hand or do some things different defensively. But more importantly, like you just don't have a 6'2" Tyson Cunningham guarding a Buckner or a Holloway. You got like a guy, Raquez, who can actually guard those guys. So, we just found a way. It seemed like that last 3 minutes and 40 seconds lasted longer than the whole second half combined. So I just wanted the clock to go. So, yeah, it made a difference.
What did you tell the guys in the locker room right after the game?
Well, first thing I told them is, like, I'm so happy for them, because they went out and they competed and they did some things and, kind of showed, like, what they can do as far as, like, a basketball team. The second thing I told them is, like, about being smart and responsible tonight. There's going to be a lot of people that want to pat you on the back, you want to celebrate, and it's a big win against Ole Miss. But the last thing we need is any distractions or anything like that because of what happens tonight.
So a lot of motivating factors obviously going into this game. Some of you just mentioned, but the players were talking about how just simply just trying to knock Ole Miss out of NCAA tournament contention, not knocking your rival out of that. How much you think this was about this game?
Well, it wasn't a factor for me at all. I don't concern myself with that. I'm just like a game-by-game person. So if that's what it took to get them going, to beat Ole Miss or get a game at home, then that's for their motivation. But as a staff, we never mentioned anything about that at all.
I know you're just in the moment right now, but you go up to the student section, you're celebrating, the fans are celebrating. It's the loudest the atmosphere's been all year. It's obviously something to build on, not just for the rest of the season, but something you could point to when you hit the road recruiting and then try and get the team together for next season.
Yeah, and I appreciated the efforts from the students. We had obviously went out and talked to some Greek organizations, some sororities and fraternities and other student organizations trying to make sure we had a great environment for this game. And so for them to actually do it, like a lot of people say they're going to do something, we're going to come, we're going to be out there, but for them to actually show up the way they did just meant a lot to our team.
Andy said that they'd had a lot of Andy said they'd have trouble guarding guys like Colin this year, face up 4, and he was scoring in different ways. Did you see that potential there for him to have a good game?
Well, I thought we scored the ball against them at Ole Miss. I didn't think the scoring was a problem for us in the first game. I thought it was us getting stops, and Marshall Henderson just went nuts there in the second half against us. So I thought that we could have some success on the offensive end. Where it came from, I really didn't care, whether it's coming from Colin or Gavin. I just want to make sure that we get an opportunity to go score the basketball. So that's not something we pointed toward like, hey, we want to try to attack, their 4 men. I just wanted them to play basketball.